Good morning. Welcome back to Yarn on the Beach. This is episode 9 and we're getting to watch a beautiful sunrise on the beach this morning. Not that they aren't all beautiful, but the last few days have been pretty foggy, and today the fog cleared up as I was driving here. So I'm super excited to see these beautiful pastel colors already emerging from the sky and the water. We've got our warm golden peach and pinky corals and pale turquoises and pale blues. I have a surprise about that color palette that I'm going to be sharing with you next week, but not ready to share it yet. But just keep in mind that these colors that I constantly gush about here at Sunrise on the Beach, I'm going to be sharing with you next week. Later this morning, I'm going to share with you one of the first sneak peeks from book 14. I got here a little early this morning and did some, what would you call it? Practice photo shoot of one of the projects from the book, just to see if I like the lighting or the depth of field from the water to the beach to the project. And I like what I got so far, but I'll share that project with you too when a few more people join in. Please say where you're from. Please tell me what you're grateful for, and let's get started. Hopefully you have your yarn and you're ready to craft along with me, or you're bringing a beverage and just enjoying these beautiful natural surroundings. I am working a little more on my cocoon shrug, which was a 55-inch square chiffon scarf that I worked a crochet edging onto and joined two of the sides to create armholes. And I'm working on this for an upcoming book on crochet on fabric. Let's see if I can find where I left off. There we go. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning to finish my holiday gifts. Good morning, Donna in New York. Thank you for joining me. Hello, Sulaf. Hi, Diana. Thanks for joining me. It's 7-ish a.m. here. I've been up since 4, finishing up last minute holiday gifts. We are delivering the bulk of our presents to Marlon's coaches after Saturday morning practice today. So I needed to finish up. Definitely an excellent reason for getting up early in the morning to finish up beautiful gifts. I customized labels on my computer last night. Good morning, Miss Detroit. Shopping at Walmart. Okay, well, you be careful out there. I'm sure it's going to be pretty hustly and bustly out there at the stores today. I tried to stop by the Nike outlet yesterday to pick up some socks for Marlon, and I literally could not find a parking space in the entire outlet mall parking lot. And I looked for about 10 minutes and I said, you know what? He doesn't need socks that bad today. Good morning, Robin from North Carolina. Socks the kid goes through. With all that running and sliding on the courts, he literally rubs holes in his socks. Like, we replace socks regularly as well as shoes. Don't get me started on the shoe thing. He literally wears holes in the soles of his shoes too. Good morning, Lonnie from Pennsylvania. We finally have a fog-free sunrise this morning. I know you're bundled up, Miss Detroit. Hopefully you can find some peace and enjoyment in listening to the waves with me. I got here about a half hour early today, and I was going to try to schedule the live broadcast so more people would be aware that it was coming. Good morning, Maggie from Ontario. And then I chickened out. Sometimes when it comes to technology that I don't already know well, I get scared and I chicken out, and I chickened out this morning. But there was a second reason why I came early as well, and that was because the samples came back from my tech editor for book 14, and I brought my first project down to the beach to share a sneak peek with all of you, as well as to test out some photography and see if this is the look and the feel that I wanted for this project or for the book overall. Hi Maggie. Yeah, don't worry about spell check. I know. Sometimes we have to learn how to read texts without spell check, right? Good morning, Andy from Germany. Good morning, Lubna. Yes, I can show you what I'm working on. I'm crocheting on fabric on this beautiful 55-inch silk chiffon scarf that I have crocheted on the edge and then converted into a cocoon shrug, so there'll be sleeves. Robin, that's a wonderful thing to be thankful for. Thankful for your family and the trust in God. So we've joined two sides and created armholes, and now I'm working on the collar. And this is for an upcoming book that I have coming out. This is book, I'm on 14 right now. This is book 15. This will be the next one coming. So you'll see this pattern very soon. And here is a sneak peek of one of the projects from the next book. The next book is crocheting and knitting motifs, and it's going to be shawls and like cowls, Mobius, and a few bags, and this is the knit motif bag that's going to be in the book. It is a tulip motif, and you can, although I did a skinny bag to make it like a yoga mat bag, you could also make this a tote bag, and I'll show you the schematic for doing it both ways. I was thinking about that in the car this morning, that some people would prefer a wider tote bag. So this beautiful motif is joined as you go. Can you believe that? Knitted motifs joined as you go, no sewing. And I even created a design element in the way we join them to create this piped edge. So that's one of the projects that will be in the next book. There's going to be 17 patterns, half knit, half crocheted. They're about mostly shawls, some Mobius cowl type projects, and a couple of bags. Very excited. All of the patterns have been edited, all of the charts have been edited, and now it's time to do book layout and photography. Good morning, Deborah from Arkansas. Good, I'm glad you love the bag. I love it too. I am super duper excited. Where are my books available? Maggie asked. Some of my books are available at your local yarn shops. Some of them are available on Amazon. I have a few for sale on my website right now, and my new books that are coming out in 2018 will all be available on Amazon and my website. Hi from England. I'm glad you're enjoying watching the sunrise with me. It's so beautiful. And for those of you who weren't here when we started this morning, I was talking about how inspired I am by this beautiful palette we have here in the morning of that golden peach and pinky coral and pale turquoise and pale blue, and that I have a surprise for you next week. I've developed something based on that palette, but it's not ready to share yet, but I think I'll be able to share it next week. But definitely design something directly around our time here at the beach at sunrise. The Crochet on Fabric book that I mentioned that's going to have this shrug in it. Good morning, Anna Marie from Italy. I can't read all of what you wrote. It went by too quickly, but thank you for joining me this morning. Oh, so back to the Crochet on Fabric book. This book will have a variety of projects, including some home deck, which those of you who follow me regularly in my blog and social media know how much I love designing home deck. So Crochet on Fabric is going to have garments, accessories, as well as home deck and baby. It's going to be just kind of a variety of projects and really just teaching you how to understand different ways to crochet on fabric so that you can really take anything and crochet on fabric. And that's really what I want to teach in that book, is that you can look at anything as a surface to crochet on or knit, but this book will focus on crochet. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because once you understand the concept, you'll realize there's nothing you can't crochet on. Which is kind of cool. Good morning.
Morning.
Deborah's crocheting onto a zipper to start a bag. Yes, that is a really wonderful way to apply crochet on fabric, is learning how to crochet onto a zipper to create a seamless and very secure join to create something that needs a zipper, like the start of a bag. That's a great project. As a beginner, will you be doing YouTube videos to go with the book? Yes, I am planning on doing, I've already done a YouTube, let's see, how do I say this? For the glossary for book 14, I thought it was a good idea to do videos on all of the stitch patterns, so there was a video glossary for the book. And when I started that, I realized I may as well do an entire encyclopedia of stitches. So I already have the basic stitches done, and they're on 2 pages on my website, one called How to Knit and the other called How to Crochet, where you can really find a giant body of how-to stitches with the stitch name, the wording for how to do the stitch, as well as the video for how to do the stitch embedded on the page. And you can also find both of those bodies of work in playlists here on YouTube on my channel. So that's already done. And then now that the samples have come back to me, I'm going to do a quick tips and tricks how to create the pieces for the book videos, which will support the patterns in the book. So yes, there will definitely be video support for the entire book and all of my books going forward now. It goes back to the way that I talk about teaching and the fact that everybody learns differently, and there's different ways to teach and different ways to learn. And I really try to embody as many ways as I can when teaching something, because I think it helps people learn. You're welcome, Kim. Anna Marie, let's see if I can. I saw congratulations in there. I'd have to look a little harder to try to translate what you said in Italian. I couldn't read it that quickly, but I saw lots of exclamation points, so I see that you're happy. So if you're happy, I'm happy. Merry Christmas, Christine. Thanks for watching from Australia. Is everybody done with their last minute gifts? Is anybody still working on gifts this morning? Even though I got up at 4 to finish up some gifts, it felt really good to finally be done. I know I'm one that always scrambles to the last second. Not that I have that many people to give gifts for. And I always do handmade. Except for my son, I don't buy any store-bought presents. It's just kind of something that I do. Don't mean that it's right or wrong any other way. It's just something that I feel strongly about for myself. Oh, do I have a hook preference? That is a great question. I prefer hooks that are made of wood and bamboo, and I prefer hooks that have the inline hook. I do recommend, if you're looking to really splurge and buy something fancy, I would recommend lantern moon hooks. They're really beautiful, and I helped them work on the prototype for their original hook, which is probably why I like it, because it's the style that I like. But I also like Susan Bates hooks, which are the Silvalume anodized metal hooks that you can buy at any big box craft store, and basically they're the same style. I also am working on my own line of hooks right now, but they're not available yet. They are coming soon though, and they will be made out of bamboo, which, same with the wood. I really like the way natural fibers warm up in your hands. I love how smooth they get with the patina. From the more you use them, the better that they get. And what else? Oh, the one I'm using today, this is an ergonomic hook. It's a 2 millimeter, and it's part of a hook set that I have a prototype of that I'm considering having made for me, but I haven't decided yet. And between the hook set and the bamboo ones, I decided to come up to manufacture the bamboo ones first. So we'll see. But if you want something on the market right now, I would recommend Lantern Moon for a splurge on some really beautiful ebony wood. What other wood do they do? Ebony for sure. I can't think of what the other wood is called. Rosewood. And they're really, really beautiful. I've been using them for years. Or Susan Bates. And those are the only ones that I really know and love. I know there's tons of stuff out there, and I'm sure everybody has an opinion on what their favorites are. But next year when my hooks come out, they will be like every other product in my brand, and a portion of the sale of the hooks will also support Project Kristin Cares, my charity that donates a portion of every sale to the survivors of domestic violence. Sherry is working on a scarf still. All right, well, you get stitching. Hopefully you finish up today. I hope so, yeah. Oh, Maggie, that's so sweet of you. You will wait for mine. Okay, wonderful. I promise that they're not going to break the bank, and that they will only be sold if they are beautiful and really, really functional. So I love mine so far. Let's see, I think I have one of them with me. I can show you. It's just the wrong size for what I'm working on. No, now where would it be? Nope, I don't. It's at home. But I will definitely talk to you more about them when they're coming out. Should be in the next couple months. Good morning, Linda. Thanks for watching. Oh, come from Indiana. Very nice. Thank you for enjoying the beach sunrise with me today. Oh, looks like we have some bird friends. And no dolphin yet. We've been here a week now. What the heck? I can't wait for you guys to see the dolphin with me. Or some of the bigger wildlife in the water. Like a day like today, we'd be able to see them so well when the water's this calm. It'll happen, I promise, it will happen. You know, it reminds me of shopping in a thrift store or shopping in, looking for on sale racks. The more you do it, the more successful you are. So I figure the more sunrises we watch together, the more likely we are to see some fabulous wildlife out here. I actually don't follow my same rule for shopping because I can't stand the time it takes. But Robin is saying, do you find holding let's see, she's asking a question about when her hand cramps, what should she do when she's holding her hook? One of the things that I like to do if I feel like I'm working too hard in crochet is I switch over to knitting. Now, not everybody does both, so that is an issue. But when your hands are cramping, it's really great to do different hand exercises and get the blood flowing differently in your fingers. Massage is really good. I like to massage my fingers and my hands, especially like getting in between my fingers like that and shaking them out. I feel that feels so good to me. Now, I don't know if that's good for everybody, but I think getting more circulation into your hands and getting the blood flowing is really, really helpful when I need a break. And, it also depends on how stressed you are when you're working. Like, think back to when you first started crocheting or knitting. You remember how tight your gauge was and it loosened up over time because you stopped being stressful about learning? I think the same thing happens when we either absorb our daily life into our crafts. This calms us down, right? But in the process, it also absorbs the stress. So if you're consciously aware that you're clenching your hands when you're crafting because you're stressed about learning a new project, stressed about learning a new technique, or stressed about something else in your life, your hands are giving you a sign to try to calm down. So anytime you feel your hands cramping up, I would immediately stop what you're doing and start by trying to relax your hands, getting more circulation into them, and being more consciously aware that you might be clenching. And from there obviously are other ways to hold your hook. I think that I change my ways sometimes too, depending on what yarn I'm using or what size hook. Like right now I'm doing a really tiny gauge and I feel like I hold my hook a little differently than I normally do because it just feels a little more delicate. But I would definitely look into hand stretches, maybe even see if you can find some doctor websites about hand stretches or different proper ways to massage your hands. But I do feel like that helps a ton. Getting that circulation flowing in there is really, really important when you're feeling pain. Pain is your body's way of communicating with you, right? I'd show you what the third row looks like on here. Isn't that beautiful? I'm alternating a row of double crochet chain 2 with rows of double crochet. Now I'm holding my hook a little bit differently than I normally do this morning because I'm working a really delicate hook and a really delicate yarn and working in black. So all of those things combined make me feel like I have to be a little more delicate with this. I think I do hold it pencil hold, which means I normally hold like that. I'm not a knife hold person, except there is one example. When I was making the mandalas, if you recall, I was making mandalas a couple weeks ago and crocheting the motif onto a wire ring, it was a lot easier to crochet around the ring with a knife hold. You can watch the videos on that on my YouTube channel, or embedded into the free pattern page on my website. Good morning from Port Lincoln South. Where is that? Sounds like it might be in England. Port Lincoln South. Where is that? Is that in England? I'm just guessing. I have no idea. Australia. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for joining me from Australia. It's absolutely fantastic to see people from all over the world. What an amazing technology we have here, that we can all enjoy my little slice of heaven together and talk. How many hours a day do I knit or crochet? Oh, it depends on the day and the deadline, but at least 6. You know, being an entrepreneur and the owner of a small business and a single mom and a homeschooling mom means that I wear a lot of hats. So I work probably 15 hours a day, but I would say, depending on the deadline, I could work either between 6 and 12 hours a day on knitting and crochet. And that could be sitting in the car waiting for Marlon. That could be sitting in the kitchen waiting for something to cook. That could be sitting on the couch binge watching something on TV to help me get through a giant deadline. Or it could be sitting at my desk waiting on stuff to load, like waiting on a video. Like, let's say I've been editing a video, and as I'm uploading it, I could be sitting at my desk knitting and crocheting too. So I do a lot of multitasking. So it would be hard to count which hours are which, but I mean, I work 15-hour days, mostly 7 days a week. I know, don't judge me. And a good portion of it is surrounded around the business of knitting and crochet. So a lot of that time is spent knitting and crocheting, but then the times that aren't on the actual craft, it's about everything else involved and getting it out to other people, if that makes sense. But there's a, don't my hands hurt? No, my hands do not hurt. If I'm working on something that does make my hands hurt, oh, my leg, I sat on my leg too long. Sorry. So if my hands do start to hurt, I do the types of things. Oh, hi Jan, I'm so glad you could join me live. I do the things that I mentioned earlier. I do a lot of massage and stretches, and actually, I don't know why, but doing this, if you can hear that sound of when I really, and I don't want to recommend that if you have any problems with your hands, because I don't know if that is damaging, but I don't have any problems with my hands, and doing that motion really just makes the blood start flowing more, and I feel like when I get more circulation in my hands, it really helps when my hands have started to get sore or crampy. Switching from knitting to crochet is always really helpful for me. Switching to any other activity, like my hands cramp in crochet, I'll go start chopping up veggies for dinner, or I'll go start drawing something for a new fabric design or idea or logo that I'm working on. I go from one craft to another or I go clean for a little bit. I never really stop throughout the day, but if I move from one activity to the other, you'd be amazed how when you use your hands differently or with different muscles, it actually keeps them moving and keeps them warmed up, but uses the muscles differently so it stops the cramping. Not that I get cramps, but I do get sore. Another thing that gets sore on me is my wrist. I get sore here in my wrists, and when I do, massage is very helpful. I make an all-natural muscle rub called a healing balm, and I do sell it on my website, and I make it with mango butter and avocado oil, and I add a blend of essential oils of cinnamon and clove and peppermint and lavender, which are all really therapeutic for sore muscles and nerve pain. And so I use it on my back because I have back problems. I also use it on my neck when I have headaches, and I use it on my wrists here when they act up. And I find that it is extremely therapeutic for sore hands and sore muscles. I try to take care of my health. Thank you. Okay, whoever. Yeah, Miss Detroit, no rest among the weary, no kidding. Being an entrepreneur means you work way more hours than somebody with a job, but you love what you do, so I guess that's the trade-off. The question before, it came in too fast and I didn't see it and it was long. I'm so sorry. It started with a question about a raglan sweater, and it didn't say whether or not you were interested in knitting or crochet, so I can't really answer which videos to send you to until I know whether you're looking for a raglan sweater top down, bottom up, knitting, or crochet, and then maybe I can direct you to the right videos. How to knit one top down, maintaining a cable pattern. I do not have a video on a top down raglan cable sweater pattern, so I don't think I could direct you anywhere at the moment, but I could definitely put it on a list for upcoming ideas. I definitely want to do some books on top down construction, and maintaining a cable while doing that sounds beautiful. I will definitely put it on my list. Thank you. I love, love, love getting recommendations and suggestions from you. There's no point in me making stuff if you don't want to learn from it. So I'm always, always open to suggestions and recommendations, because if I'm not making stuff that you want to learn, I just don't see the point in it. I love being able to help you learn what you want to learn. Sometimes it's fun to learn things that you didn't realize you wanted to learn, and I love that element as well. So I like coming up with ideas on my own, because sometimes I could introduce you to something that you didn't know you loved, let alone wanted to learn, like the Delta stitch this week. A lot of people hadn't seen that before and still loved it just as much as I do. Well, that's okay, Kim. I will definitely teach you how to decrease and increase in raglan. That's not a problem. I do have some patterns. If you're looking to do a knit raglan sweater, I have a beautiful one called the Kimmy Top, and it's a bottom up construction, but super simple and gorgeous. And I have videos on it as well as the free pattern on my website. If you just search for Kimmy Top, you could start there. It's a beautiful simple lace yoke, and it's worked from the bottom up in the round and then decreased up to the neck. Really simple, but really, really beautiful. You could start there maybe. And then anybody looking for a top-down raglan crochet lace is the Sweet Clara top is still one of my all-time most popular patterns, and something that I've even made 3 times because I love it so much. So that's an idea for anybody who's interested in crochet raglan. Oh, Kim, you were talking about making it for your son. Yeah, lace won't work for him. All right, well, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Thank you. I also, on the back burner, want to do a men's book. But one of the things that's stopping me is I don't really have a whole lot of a variety of men in my life for models. Like, I would really want to see lots of different shapes and sizes to make it make sense. So I feel like, and although, they say if you build it, they will come, right? So maybe if I just start the book, the models will come. I don't know. But I have a really interesting and unique point of view on menswear that I would really like to share with the world too. Ah, look, the sun's coming. Can you see it over the sand? Okay, Kim, yeah, that makes sense. A cabled pattern, if he likes a lot of texture, that would be really fun for him to rub his fingers across the texture, right? Oh, Jan's gonna make my roasted garbanzo bean recipe today. That's great. Tell me what you think of it. You can add any spices you like. You don't have to add the spices the same as I did. It's all sort. You could do any flavor profile on them. But we really like them. Those are fun. I should have added them to my gift list this year, but somehow when I was at the store buying ingredients for gifts, for food gifts, I forgot. You wouldn't believe how much food you have to buy to make food gifts. Like if you're really making, I made like 20 food bags, or gift bags of food gifts this time. You're welcome, Kim. I couldn't believe how much food you actually have to buy to do that. I know, it sounds silly, but I guess it's based on the quantity. Ooh, I have another question if anybody would like to chime in and tell me your opinion. I have been thinking about doing, not as often as we're doing Yarn on the Beach. I really like doing this every day. Since I'm already down here every morning, I love sharing this with you every day and just love this. But I was thinking about doing a live broadcast while I make dinner once in a while, and we could just like hang out and chat, and I can go over what I'm doing briefly, but maybe hang out during making dinner time, and I don't know, maybe once a week, maybe something like that. And I was just wondering if anybody watching is interested in doing that. My concept would be setting up the camera so like you're sitting at the edge of the counter and you'd be like a friend just hanging out, drinking a glass of wine or drinking a glass of iced tea, and I'd be talking to you while I'm making dinner. So it wouldn't necessarily be 100% educational. I don't have the fancy camera crew to do all of the overhead shots and the setups and the step outs, but it would be like I could give you tips and tricks for how I adapt recipes based on what's in my kitchen or what I forgot to add. I think it's kind of interesting, to me anyways, to learn how to adapt things, because you can follow a recipe all you want, but in real life, when you've got other distractions and things going on, I feel like you end up adapting things way more than you follow along, and recipes don't teach you how to adapt. So I thought if we could just chat and casually talk about it, and if something comes up and I make a mistake or I forgot an ingredient, I could tell you what I'm gonna do to make it okay. Okay, well I see, wow. Oh, Miss Detroit, that is so nice. I'm so glad that you've read good comments about my yarn. I'd need to know what weight of yarn you were interested in or what you were wanting to make before I could give you a specific suggestion. But I have everything from fingering weight to worsted weight right now. I have American merino wool, I have organic cotton, I have bamboo, and blends of some of those. She makes all kinds of lawyer crochet projects and ponchos. I'm guessing you meant layering. Do you like worsted weight, sport weight, fingering weight? Do you have a preference in weights? Well, the sun's almost here. I must have started early today. Robin is a new whole food plant-based vegan. Okay. Anna Maria, yes, the sun's coming. It's almost here. I must have started earlier today because we're already to 41 minutes, so sorry for anybody that I've gone long, but the sun's almost here. We may as well keep going. I'm here. If anybody wants to stay here with me, you're welcome. Marina, isn't it a beautiful morning? Gosh, I love it. So beautiful. Christine, wouldn't that be fun? I don't know how you would do that though. I do think it would be fun to show people how I juggle everything that I do. When one of those yarns hangs the best, your scarves. I don't know if I understand what you said, but I'm guessing you're talking about drape. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I'm wearing a shawl this morning as a scarf. If I back up, maybe you can see it better. Can you see that I have on a shawl? This is Be So Fine. This is one of my fingering weight yarns. And this is only one ball of yarn, and so it's 650 yards, so you make a whole shawl out of it, and it's incredibly drapey. This is called the Molten Lava crochet shawl, and you can find it on my website. And I put it on backwards to wear it as a scarf. This one is crochet, yeah. Yeah, I saw someone said you had to go because it's Christmas, and I totally understand that. I'm just going to hang out a little longer because the sun's almost here, and it sounds like fun. But anybody that has to go, thank you in advance for joining me, and I'm so grateful that you took the time out of your day to join. Yeah, so going back to this shawl, I think it's wonderful that when you use a really fine yarn that has an incredible amount of drape like that, you can wear them so many different ways. You could wear it as a sarong, over as a beach cover-up. You could wear them obviously as a shawl, and there's lots of ways to style shawls as shawls too, but you can wear them as a scarf, as a head wrap, a sarong, and a sarong can be done in a couple of ways too. So once you do a fine weight yarn and do something with incredible drape like that, and something that's not animal fiber, means you can wear it more throughout the year, like it can become a summer accessory as well. It's very, very, very versatile. And I'll be able to show you here on the beach when it warms up and it's summertime here. I'll show you how I style my shawls for cover-ups as well. That's the other thing. I think it's going to be really fun to show you how I actually style my projects in everyday life like this. it's something you don't always see in the photography from a pattern or a book, is how someone really uses things in real life. And I feel like this is going to be a really fun way to show you the real life application. Oh, and just to remind everybody that today is Saturday, so it is the last day of the week for Yarn on the Beach. Merry Christmas, Jan. Thank you so much for joining me today. So Monday through Saturday is my plan at this time for doing Yarn on the Beach. So tomorrow is Sunday, so we will not be at the beach for sunrise. The following day is Christmas Day, and because it's a holiday that I celebrate, I won't be here. The name of the shawl is Molten Lava, and you can easily Google that on my YouTube channel or on my website to find the pattern and videos. Okay, so Monday I will not be broadcasting because it's Christmas here, but I will be back on Tuesday, and then going forward, minus a holiday or telling you in advance, I will be here Monday through Saturday. Yes, yeah, if you made the Molten Lava shawl, this is exactly the one you made. Yes, that is definitely this pattern. Yay, I just finished another round. Okay, so I just finished my double crochet chain 2 round, getting ready to start another solid double crochet round. Okay, so I'm gonna stop crocheting and take this last couple of minutes to enjoy the sounds of the water with you. And if you have any last minute questions or comments, this would be the time to ask them, because I'm going to look at the camera until we say goodbye. I spilled my coffee as soon as I got here. I've had an inch to drink out of. Oh, Marina, thank you. I try. She says I always look so put together. I try. Coco Chanel says one of my favorite quotes, always dress for a date with destiny. Donna, yes, most of my yarn is plant-based. With the exception of Be So Brave, which is 100% American merino wool, all of my yarns are either organic cotton or bamboo. Marina, you agree. Yeah, Coco Chanel has some amazing quotes, but my all-time favorite is always dress for a date with destiny. Any day that I leave the house without having done my hair, not that I do much to my hair, or put my makeup on, or try to look put together, I do regret it. I try. I mean, if you're not showing, I mean, I'm not trying to look decked out every day. I mean, I do save that for other occasions, but I do try to look somewhat put together when I leave the house. Sorry. Marina, I'm glad to hear you do the same. It feels good, doesn't it? Well, Robin, I'm so glad you were able to join. Hopefully you feel better soon. And if you're not able to join live, they will be recorded as well if you feel like chiming in anytime. And I do answer all of the recorded comments, so I can still interact with you even if you can't be here live. All right, well, I'm going to I'd like to thank all of you for joining me live today, and thank you to everyone who will be watching the recorded version of this. This is Yarn on the Beach number 8 or 9. I'm glad to see that everybody is enjoying this as much as I do. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Happy holidays if you're getting ready to celebrate a holiday. If not, have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you at sunrise next week. Bye!